Stockfish is codfish that has been dried in cold air without salt. In Nigeria's bustling markets, this fish is one of the most coveted sources of protein. A bag of stockfish is sold for about $65 per kilogram, 7 times higher than the price of other popular fish. The problem is that Nigeria does not have a stable supply of stockfish because it is not produced locally. Instead, it is dried thousands of miles away in Norway, home to some of the richest cod fisheries in the world. At the northern tip of Norway, in the cold and rough waters of the Atlantic Ocean, lies the Lofoten archipelago, known as one of the oldest fishing industries in the world. Every year, between January and April, these waters are filled with skrei, the name for Norwegian Arctic cod, that migrates thousands of kilometers from the Barents Sea to Lofoten to spawn. This cod migration is not merely a natural phenomenon, but a very heartbeat of coastal life in Norway. For more than 1,000 years, fishermen have sailed into the waters of Lofoten to catch these fish, continuing an ancient tradition dating back to Viking times. When the fishing season begins, small boats set out from coastal villages, battling waves and strong winds in search of the best catch. For many families, the cod season is the most important time of the year. Fishermen live for months in simple wooden cabins along the shore, leaving their homes and families behind to work hard at sea. From 14-year-old boys going to sea for the first time to old fishermen who have spent decades in these waters, all share the same goal: to catch the finest cod that will be dried into stockfish. When the boats return to shore with their catch, the next stage begins: processing and drying the cod. Unlike other preservation methods that use salt or smoke, stockfish is dried entirely by nature. Cold air, sea winds, and enough sunlight to remove moisture without causing rot. The process starts with cleaning the fresh cod, removing the entrails, and preparing it for drying. Experienced workers tie the fish together in pairs by the tail and hang them on large wooden racks. These racks stretch across the coastline of Lofoten, creating an iconic sight: rows of fish hanging in the open air, swaying gently in the wind. Lofoten's climate is perfect for drying fish, especially from February to May, with stable temperatures around 0 degrees Celsius. The cool, dry air prevents spoilage, while the sea winds help evaporate about 80% of the fish's water content. These are unique conditions because in warmer climates the fish will rot before drying, and in colder conditions it would freeze, halting the drying process. For several months, the fish are left hanging until they are completely dry. Stockfish craftsmen in Lofoten rely on generations of experience to know when the fish has reached the ideal level of dryness. No advanced technology replaces their skills. It is still done by hand and with trained eyes, just as it was in Viking times. Interestingly, this process resembles the making of fine wine or cheese. After drying, the fish must still be matured for several months to develop a richer flavor and perfect texture. The fish are then carefully sorted according to various qualities, such as length, weight, color, aroma, and texture. There are more than 20 quality categories, and only the very best fish earn the label Stockfish from Lofoten, a mark of excellence highly respected in global trade. Once this long process is complete, stockfish is ready for export. But before it reaches kitchens in Nigeria and other parts of the world, it must undergo a long journey, both geographically and historically. The history of stockfish trade is deeply tied to Norway's maritime heritage. Stockfish has been exported from Lofoten since the 12th century, when German merchants arrived at the Port Bergen to buy large quantities of dried fish. At that time, Northern Europe was experiencing rapid urban growth, and its people needed a protein source that was durable and easy to store. Stockfish became a staple food in Europe, especially for religious reasons. In the Middle Ages, Catholics were forbidden from eating meat on Fridays and during Lent, so fish became the preferred alternative. Because it could be stored for a long time without refrigeration, Stockfish was the ideal choice. One of the largest markets for stockfish to this day is Italy. Italians have imported the fish for centuries and use it in a variety of traditional dishes. Even today, fine dining restaurants in Italy continue to feature stockfish as the key ingredient in some of their best recipes. But stockfish trade is not limited to Europe. West Africa, especially Nigeria, has become one of the largest markets for stockfish in the world. In Nigeria, stockfish is not just food. It is part of a deep culinary tradition. It is used in many traditional dishes, such as egusi soup, ogbono soup, and okra soup. However, obtaining stockfish in Nigeria is not easy. The country does not have the right climate to produce it locally, so it depends entirely on imports from Norway. As a result, stockfish prices are often unstable, influenced by global factors such as cod catch levels in Lofoten, Norway's export policies, as well as shipping costs and import taxes in Nigeria.